So let me get this straight. So they're telling us that all descendants of slaves here in America came from Africa. So all the descendants of slaves, they all came from the transatlantic slave trade. So there weren't any black people here initially. Here on Turtle Island, they refer to as America. There wasn't any black people. Is that what you want me to believe? That when Christopher Columbus so-called discovered America, he didn't see any copper-colored people that he documented in his journal? Like, what was that about? So you're telling me when whoever discovered America, they discovered these pale-faced $5 Indians, right? Wannabe Indians, because they're not the original native people to this land. It was a copper-colored people. We had Africans visiting all over the continent, all over the world, I should say, venturing off from the continent of Africa. So the original inhabitants of the Americas, of the world for that matter, are copper-colored, dark-skinned people, or dark brown people, I should say. So for those of you who believe that every descendant of the slaves came on slave ships from Africa, you have been deceived. Because I have two questions for you. One, where are all the slave ships that allegedly took millions of slaves from Africa here to the United States or the United States of America? Where are all the slave ships? You can find remnants of Viking ships, right? Thousands, according to them now, thousands and thousands of years old, but you can't find any slave ship intact, at least halfway intact. And how did they make the journey from the continent of Africa here to the Americas, right? Without fresh water. Like, how did they store all the fresh water? Now I understand they're going to say, well, a lot of slaves didn't make it because a lot of them jumped overboard and a lot of them was fed to sharks and a lot of them, died and whatever, right? They're going to say that shit. But you're telling me, according to their history, that they took millions and millions of slaves here, from Africa to the Americas, and they all made it here on that journey. And how long did it take them on these ships to get from Africa to the Americas and another thing you got to think about, right? The water. They have this documentary that shows the way how the water, I'm trying to find the right wording for what I want to say. But the path that the water take is downwards, right? So they're coming across all the tides, heading through from the continent of Africa, right? Traveling all these miles, thousands and thousands of miles from Africa by ships. And they made it to the Americas. And every last so-called descendant of slaves came from Africa. There wasn't any black people here in the Americas. And they want us to believe this shit. This is why they're trying to erase our history in the schools. You know what I'm saying? They're trying to tell you that we was basically volunteer. I was servitude. We benefited from it, right? So in other words, we being slaves and shit, we benefit because we learned skills. We learned skills that we're using today. So when they was feeding our babies to alligators, we benefited from that shit. When they was whipping us and hanging us on trees and burning our men on logs and raping our women and children and men and animals too, right? That's, what I'm saying? They were doing all that. These fucking freaks. We benefited. They're trying to say we benefited from this shit. We should just shut up and just accept the fact that, we benefited from slavery. Working for free. Sometimes our fingers to the bone. We benefited from the shit, so just shut up and be grateful that we came and we civilized you guys. We was animals, according to them. We was animals. We was savages. And what I've noticed about these hybrids, these devils, right, they love to deflect. They call us monkey when they have the rhesus monkey DNA, when they got the monkey lips, right? They lips shaped just like the fucking chimpanzee lip. You ever look at a chimpanzee lip? It's shaped just like a so-called white person lip. Google the shit, right? They call us monkeys, but yet still they look like they got the chimpanzee lips. They got the rhesus monkey DNA, right? They call us animals. When they get wet, they smell like dogs, right? They got fleas. Well, they don't have fleas. They have lice, but dogs have fleas. And if you look at a flea and a lice, they look identical. So everything that they are, they deflected to us. They want to state that, before them, we knew nothing. We had no beginning. Like all the inventions, they did it. The black man didn't invent the stoplight, the stop sign. The black man didn't invent Suka. Even space travel, these 3 black women wasn't responsible for that shit. The washing machine was not, invented by black men, by black people. It was invented by, They take all of our history and they rewrite the shit. Then they give y'all a dumbass book called the Bible, right? Yes, I said it. I know y'all hate me saying this shit, but the Bible you read has been watered down. That's why it's called a version, King James Version. I don't read the Bible anymore with that kind of thinking, mindset that, okay, the Bible is the infallible word of God. No, the Bible is the infallible word of man. And it's not infallible, it is fallible, right? Because there's a lot of contradiction in the so-called Bible. So everything that was taught to me, I have literally thrown it away, right? Thrown it aside, because I've realized that all of their history is their story. That's why they call it his story. That's his story that they rewrote for us to learn. We are speaking their languages. They tell us, when you do voodoo or you do any kind of traditional, religious practices that our ancestors used to do, because it's in the Bible and it condemns it, it is wrong. You will end up in hell. So you're not supposed to deal with zodiac. You're not supposed to do. So everything they tell us not to do, they do themselves. Do y'all know that these devils practice witchcraft? They have shrines in their homes. They sell their soul to the devil, not the devil, to Lucifer, because the devil and Lucifer is 2 different entities. You know what I'm saying? The devil is just basically means, it's like a metaphor. All right? It's no such thing as a devil. It's a metaphor. And they have tell us that we're not supposed to do this, we're not supposed to do that, because it's against the Bible and blah, 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 blah. But yes, they do it. They tell you in the Bible it's easy for a camel to enter to the needle of an eye. It says this shit in the Bible, than for a rich man to enter into the kingdom of heaven. But yes, the majority of the pastors are filthy rich. Mega mansions, right? Jets and money and houses and businesses and shit. But yet still, they tell you, no, don't focus on being rich on this earth. Focus on the next kingdom. How do you know you're going to make it to the next kingdom? How do we know the next kingdom even exists? You know what I'm saying? Wouldn't you rather live a lavish lifestyle like they're living here on this earth? Because you're alive, right? You're experiencing this shit. So you might as well experience everything that comes with it. So why wait till after death? You know what I'm saying? Then they teach the slaves, obey your earthly master. Turn the other cheek. Love your enemy and shit. Do good to those who hate you. And don't worry about, no, this is what they say. Those who save their life. This is shit that got me. Those who save their life shall lose their life. And those who lose their life shall save their life. That's what they said in the fucking Bible. It's in the book. I made videos about this shit. Those who save their life, in other words, those who try to save their life shall lose their life. And those who lose their life, slaves, don't worry about us killing you, because in the end, you shall save your life in the next, I guess, the second death. I don't know. Family, listen, man. We need to wake up. All right? We need to wake up. That's all I got to say. Bible, Christianity, pastor, religion, Jesus Christ, even God is all bullshit, because God is a title. I don't worship God. I acknowledge the Most High, the Creator, the Heavenly Father of me, the Creator of me. That's who I acknowledge. I don't even worship the Creator. You know why? Because I don't know how. The Creator have never, ever came to me and told me, this is how I want you to worship me. As a matter of fact, the Creator never even told me to worship Him. I know that men like to be worshipped. This is why you see everywhere around the world, these hybrids have statues of themselves. You know what I'm saying? Every fucking where you go. Even in the Bible say you're not supposed to have no engraved image. But if you go to a Catholic church, you see Jesus Christ on the cross, you see saints, you see Mary, you see, I mean, you know what I'm saying? So everything that they tell you not to do, think about it, family. Everything they tell you not to do, as Christians, they do it. They do it. The Bible tell you not to eat pork, but they eat pork. You know, so all you have to do is just pray over the shit. This is why I don't deal with religion no more. I'm on a spiritual walk right now, fam. I'm starting to find myself. I'm starting to even read the Bible and realize it's all bullshit. Yes, it has great metaphors, right? Parables and shit, right? I love the metaphors of parables. But other than that, that's all it does. That's all it has. That's all it does. It doesn't have anything because I've never seen God for myself to tell me this is how he want me to worship him. A man gave me a book and say, this is what God say. Who was there with God when God was saying these things? Like literally every single second, every moment God was thinking something, he said, okay, this is what I'm thinking. I want you to write this down. Who was there? If the Bible said no man could see God and live, then how were they was able to get all this information from quote unquote God? What if, right? And I'm just saying, what if we are the fallen angels that's having a physical experience in this physical body, this meat suit, right? And because of our wickedness, we're here now living as mortals. And the Creator, the Source, have cut himself off from us, putting a dome. You see that dome over the sky? That's separating us from him. And these hybrids are trying to break through this dome, the firmament, trying to reach this Creator, trying to reach the Source. This is why they're shooting up rockets. They said they've been to the moon in the 70s, but they never been back. Up to now, they never been back. So the technology in the 70s was more advanced than what we have today. Is that what you're trying to tell me? So they was able to go to the moon in the 70s, right? However time they said they went there, but they never been back. Why they said they can't go back? Because they don't have the technology anymore. And then they contradict themselves because they said that there's a Van Halen belt. There's a Van Halen belt. There's like asteroids and shit, you know, blocking us from going to the moon. So the Van Halen belt didn't exist back in the 70s, but all of a sudden now it exists. Family, look, man, they're trying to take out our history out of the books in Florida because they know their history is wicked and the world is starting to learn about these devils. And one of the things that really broke my heart, right, when I revisited the history about how they fed our babies to alligators, right? They literally put a hook, a big ass hook through the rectum of the baby, through his abdomen, and the baby's screaming and frailing, and they throw the baby over the damn tree or limb and have it like dangling from the water, so when the bull alligator jump up to grab the baby, the hook will hook the alligator. And that's what they use. They literally use live babies as baits. Just think about it. What if black people use a live white baby as alligator bait? Just white people. If you could hear this fucking video, right? What if one of our ancestors took your white, beautiful, blonde hair, according to you guys, your standard of beauty is blonde hair and blue eye, right? Because basically blonde hair and blue eye is actually recessive, family, in case y'all didn't know. The more blonde you have in your hair, the more blue eye you have, you're recessive, the more recessive you are. But they have to make that a standard of beauty because majority of these hybrids are actually blonde hair, blue eye. But what if we was to take one of your so-called precious blonde hair, blue eye infants and did the same thing, put a big ass hook through their rectum and make it come to their abdomen and dangle them over a branch and have the alligator while they screaming in pain, blood dripping from them in the water to attract the fucking alligator. And that happened to one of your little fucking hybrids. What would you do? How would you feel about us? You know why, family, they have this fear of us? Because they know retribution is coming. It's coming one day. And this is why when they see us, they smile at us and shit and try to, you know, and this is why they're scared of the so-called angry black man and the angry black woman. It's not that we're angry. It's that because subconsciously we know y'all did us wrong. And subconsciously we know payback is coming. We're just waiting for that moment. Waiting for that moment for the Most High to give us that spirit to come over us, that warrior spirit. Because all the weapons that y'all have and y'all create and shit to protect y'all from us, because that's what the weapons are for in the family. They create these shits to intimidate us, to let us know, okay, this is what we have. If you try to fuck with us, we coming after you. You know what I'm saying? The weapons is not to fight other countries and shit. Well, I mean that too, because they're warmonger by nature. But it's for us to be fearful of them. You know what I'm saying? But don't worry, our spirit, the Most High, the Creator, the universe is gonna give us, the Anunnaki, whoever the fuck you wanna call it. They're gonna come and they're gonna give us a spirit that's gonna not even. The Bible said, "No weapon that form against me shall prosper," and that's a true statement. Because our time is coming, and this is why they talking about aliens and shit, and there's gonna be an alien. Soon they're gonna be revealed, because they know our ancestors is on their way here. Their ancestors is on their way here to purge these devils from off this prison planet. They're using the sun first to try to, wipe them out. And if that don't work, they come in and they're gonna endow us with powers to take over this prison planet that once belonged to us, and then we are going to be transformed to what we really were. Because initially we weren't copper color, we were actually blue people. Yes, I said it. We were blue people. You know that movie that they made. What's the name of that movie again? Where you had these tall blue people, and it was animation type shit. I forgot what they call it. And they was in the water and all that. That was us. The tree of life is somewhere in you know what? Let me not go there. I'm gonna say that for another video, because I want to show y'all references, proof. All right, family. But again, all the history that they have taught us has been lies. It's time for us to wake up. And with that, I say shalom.